a class tomorrow morning. Okay. Not a server class, it is theory class. Tomorrow morning it is theory class. One theory is there, ITL theory is there, compulsory. We should be there. Okay.
Sir, about service desk also, it is theory. It is come into that theory as well.
Yes, that is compulsory. Most common because of ITL is a it is okay. ITL is like a organization process in the organization how organization will start, how what is the process or a project related process. Okay, so how client related process like a, so it is process related. And if so many questions in the ITL question means when you want to start a business, what are the required questions you should put it in a mind. So that is like a ITL. Okay, so that's why ITL is very important. So it will covers for both service desk, non-service desk, because the common questions generally you are getting that question. Actually, it will take 3-4 days of thing, but I will take only the basic points only. I will try to complete by morning. If I forget, I will go to some mood kind of stuff. Maybe it is an afternoon. So I will try to stick. Oh, no, no. So no guarantee, guys. Morning, afternoon may be there. Full day, it will be there. Okay. If not there, then we will see. Okay. So what it is? First is DNS, domain name system. Can anybody tell port number? DNS port number. Very good. 53. 53. So what is a DNS? DNS maps server. DNS server maps domain names to IP address. So here is always a question, that is DNS DHCP differences. Guys, DHCP configure IP address to you. You don't have IP address. Your laptop, your mobile phone, your tablets don't have IP address. DHCP server giving an IP address. DNS, you are already having an IP address. It will tell IP address of others. It will tell IP address of others. So that is maps name to IP address. Okay, name to IP address in the DNS server. In DNS server, maps name to IP address. How it is mapping and all, we'll see that one. Okay. So for example, in my browser, okay, in browser, I put a www.google.com. All communications must be in the IP address only. So we don't know IP address of google.com. We don't know IP address of google.com. So URL is, this is URL. So google.com. Complete, not complete. So domain URL. Okay, domain part of URL. Okay. So we don't know IP address of www.google.com. Request go to DNS server and DNS server returns IP address of www.google.com. Returns IP address of google.com. Now we got IP address. Now we got IP address of www.google.com. google.com. Okay, then we can communicate. With IP address. You are communicating with IP address only. Okay. So somewhere anything I miss. Yes. In browser you put a google.com. In browser put a google.com. Example I'm writing all this is how it is works. Okay. How DNS works. Okay. This is how DNS works. Internet or any other things. So how many type of questions are there? It is just a one title. Okay, there are a lot of things in the internet how it is works and all. So that is a different thing. But it is in general what is happening when we put a google.com, when we put a google.com in the browser. Okay, so we don't know IP address of google.com. All communications by IP address only. That is a very important, guys. Always remember, not with a MAC address, not with a name. All communications by IP address only. So this is the way it is works. Guys, understand this one? Can you explain at the time of interview, or if anyone is asking question? So how DNS works? So request go to DNS server, and DNS server returns IP address of your domain. Now you can go out, communicate with a particular domain. It's an example I took a google.com. Okay, like that. Okay, so what is a DNS server? So where is the DNS server? Actually, we don't have a DNS server in our network. So we have a public DNS server we are using. Okay, so public DNS server only we are using it. Okay, so it comes with the DNS server. So that is one thing. Guys, another question is compare actually for explanation only we are comparison is there, but they are asking directly like a 1-2 interviews. Compare DNS with DNS server with a mobile contact. Okay, so same as a mobile contact. For example, and explanation of DNS is quite easy because of in mobile. So in mobile communication or telephone communication in mobile, so you have a contact name and mobile number. Contact name is there, mobile number is there. For example, someone is there. So for example, Bharat. Contact name is Bharat, and some number is there or something. Okay, so 10 null there. Okay, yeah, we'll put a 1. Some contact name. So actually communicate with the number. Actually, we communicate with the number, but you don't remember the numbers. So we save the numbers in the contact list. We save the numbers in the contact list. We save the numbers in the contact list with the contact name and mobile number. When you are dialing to the name, so actually call goes with the number only. This is how your DNS works. You don't know the IP addresses. We don't know the IP addresses. So when you are communicating with the names, DNS servers will give you IP address and we communicate with the IP address. So this is the thing we have to explain when it is come to DNS server. What is a DNS server? Domain name system. Domain name system is maps name to IP address. So whenever client requests for a client request for an IP address of a domain system or a domain name, domain system, so many other domain name is there, as well as systems are there, system, host, whatever the name you use it, host. Okay, so DNS server returns IP address of the name. Okay, so that guys, this is about your DNS server. So very simply to say DNS server is this one. Understand or not? Understand or
Yes,
not?
sir.
Very good. Okay, so this is explain this one simply directly. So he will very happy like, yeah, we know very well about DNS, very good guy, and start asking questions in depth. Don't get it, so don't worry. So this is main important, means the basic what is very important. Just like you guys are asked question, that is DORA is important. Like, yes, the DORA is compulsory, put it in that one. If you forget about reservation, I don't mind. Okay, at present you should remember. Okay, at interview maybe like it is little one extra point. Okay, but like this for anything, guys, compulsory for any subject, compulsory basic explanation, basic examples are very important in the for an interview and for our understanding itself, and for explaining at the time of interview is also there. How to resolve the IP address? Same story, and this story is a standard story that too. I explain normally without a text. I explain, but like this. Okay, how to get this thing you want to do in a practically, like you want to know how it is works. Go to CMD. Very simple. Ping www.google.com. First one you will get IP address, then ping request will come up. Okay. First one you will get a IP address, and then ping request will come up. Okay. So like that. The next one. So this is just a basic introduction. Actually, I will tell a very big story. Okay. The story is like this. Guys, this is my PC. This is my PC, my laptop. Story is important or not? The story is very important, but we don't have time. I have a very less time, 10 minutes only. And I'm getting shivering already. What to do, what to do, what to do.
Story you can say tomorrow, sir. This, if you want.
Yeah, after break.
I will tell details only. Today I will tell only details. Actually, story is very important. So, guys, that story. Yeah, very good. I have a PPT. Just I will explain lightly with that PPT. Okay. Okay. This is in the internet. What will happen actually? This is a hierarchical structure of your DNS. So .com, .net, .contoso. These are subdomains and your host. Finally, server one. The query is actually is like this will happen. 1 second. This is the forwarding. Yes. The client means our laptop send a query to local DNS server. If you look at the local DNS server, who is your local DNS server? This is a local DNS server. Literally say your router. Okay. In generally, in our systems, our local DNS server is our router only. The router will forward the query to your ISP provider. Router forward the query to ISP provider. Okay, this is better. Okay, so I will tell very simple way. Okay, in our client, you put a www.google.com or a mail1.contoso.com. So query go to local DNS server. So who is your local DNS server? Already we seen our local DNS server is our router only. The query go to your ISP provider, their routers, their servers, and they have a forwarders. They have a forwarders. In this forwarders, having a address of root hints, there is a 13 root hints are there. Root hint means dot servers. It means core DNS servers like this. Root hint servers. Every server having same database. This is also dot, this is also dot, this is also dot, this is also dot. Actually, it is A, B, C, D, like that. A, B, C, D servers. Okay. A, B, C, D servers are there. Each server having a records. Where is .com server? .com is also server, just not just a name, guys. .com server and IP address of .com server. .org server. Where is .org server? Where is .net server? That IP address. Where is .net server IP address? Where is .in server IP address? Where is .edu server? Like this. All top level domains server IP address stores in dot only. Alt top level domains. These are all top level domains. All top level domains. Information stores in this root hints only. The root hints address in the forwarder. Root hint address in the forwarder. Okay. Root hint address in the forwarder. Now what happened? Look at here. Look at here. Okay. So root hint in a your, for example, mine is, remember what is my query here? mail1.contoso.com. First of all, I have to find where is .com. Where is .com? I ask my root hint. I ask the root hint. Root hint is a public server. It is a public server maintained by ICANN. ICANN organization. ICANN maintain this root hint servers. Okay. So in the world, 13 only there. Okay. 13 or 16, just verify once. Okay. So .com. So I am asking my root hint server, where is the .com server? Now I got a IP address of .com server. Now I went to the .com server. So guys, whenever you registered a website, how to register a website or a domain, something, how to register a domain kind of stuff, you will go to different website, right? GoDaddy, okay, GoDaddy, or so many other websites also there, right? So you can go to certain websites and type your domain name, latif.com is there or not. Okay, I want to create my domain, so this I put it. Yeah, latifonline.com is available. This is the amount. This is not to launch a website. It is only domain registration. This is only domain registration. Latif Enterprise, latifweb.com. This is for a first year, only 400 for this one. Okay, it is already taken. Someone is taken, and if you want it, you have to pay like this. Okay, so latifonline.com. Okay, so thing is, I want to find it. Where is this .com? So whenever you register it, the name is registered under .com server, like a contoso.com, available under contoso.com with the IP address. Your IP address registered in the this one only, your your IP address and a name stores in .com only. Your IP address and name stores in .com only. So you're asking, I want a contoso.com IP address. To whom you're asking? .com server. .com server, you're asking, I want IP address of contoso.com. Now it is giving you contoso.com IP address. Contoso.com IP address. Now your server means your forwarder got an IP address of contoso.com. It went to contoso.com. It went to contoso.com. It is asking mail1.contoso.com. It is asking mail1.contoso.com IP address. Mail1.contoso.com IP address. I want a mail1.contoso.com IP address. Now this contoso.com returning IP address of mail1.contoso.com. Now the forwarder return that IP address to your local DNS. Local DNS server give the IP address to the client. Now client got the IP address, so then it will contact mail1.contoso.com. Okay. If anybody is understand, not understand, not at all understand, fully understand, that option is also there. I will explain once again, guys. Remember, this is normal client, my laptop. I want to open mail1.contoso.com. Query go to local DNS server. Query go to local DNS server. Local DNS server means usually our router. So router don't have a answer, right? Router don't know answer. And it is try to fetch the data from, anyway, it is forward the packet to ISP. ISP having a forwarders. Forwarder means that is also DNS server. This DNS server having a root hint address. Root hint address. It's like a hierarchical model. It is hierarchical model. It is like a hierarchical model. What is this hierarchical model? It is root hints contains top level domains address like a .com, .org, .net, like that. Okay. So forwarder is asking root hint, where is .com IP address? Where is .com IP address? I want a .com IP address. I want .com server IP address. .com server IP address. So root hint returns IP address of .com. Root hint returns IP address of .com. Now forwarder go to .com and asking .com, I want contoso.com IP address. So forwarder go to .com server, because we know the .com server IP address, right? Go to .com server. I want IP address of contoso.com. So whenever you registered in any domain, so .com servers or .net server, .org server, having the name and IP address of the domain. So it returns IP address of contoso.com. Now I got a contoso.com IP address. Now I got a contoso.com IP address. Now I am going to contoso.com. I'm going to contoso.com and asking where is mail1.contoso.com IP address. Mail1 is the host. So where is the mail1 server's mail1 server IP address? I want a mail1 server IP address. I'm asking contoso.com DNS server, and it is returning IP address of mail1.contoso.com. Finally, forwarder knows IP address of mail1.contoso.com. It returns that IP address to your local DNS server. Your local DNS server return the IP address to the client. Now client knows IP address of mail1.com, and client can communicate it to mail1.contoso.com with a IP address. This is complete story. Okay, I can take long time also, but a very short 2 times I told. Not a short. Actually, I told complete story only, and not pushing more, without pushing more. Okay. There is a queries are there, iterative query, authoritative response, recursive query. Thing is, iterative query means one by one. First you go to root hint, get a .com address. Next go to .com server and get a address of contoso.com. Next you go to the contoso.com, get a IP address of mail1.contoso.com. So you are going one by one. That is called iterative query. It is called iterative query. Next one is recursive query. You are asking a local DNS server asking a forwarder. Okay, the forwarder returns the IP address of mail1.contoso.com, not of knowledge. Okay, not out of complete information. So that is called recursive query. Same, local DNS servers return the IP address to the client with the IP address. For full IP address, mail1.contoso.com IP address. It means full query return you will getting. So the query return is full, not not .com, not like that. So you're asking mail1.contoso.com. Here also you're asking mail1.contoso.com. The type of query means full query is recursive query. Certain part of query you are doing, that is called a iterative query. Authoritative response. Authoritative response means I got a IP address from contoso.com because contoso.com is main server. Okay, so that is authoritative response. Okay, if I got a IP address from my cache or cache DNS servers or from some other my browser caches, like that, a backup server, like I got a IP address from the different sources like a cache servers or a caches cookies. If you got IP address, that is called unauthoritative response. Authoritative response means you got IP address from main server. So that is authoritative response. That's it, guys. This is the story of DNS server. Okay, I can't write the DNS server story. So then I explain like this. Even that is a very good one. Okay, just 10-15 minutes maximum I will complete this one. Yeah, a lot of things are there. This is cache DNS server. This is cache DNS server. What is cache DNS server? First of all, someone queried a query. Okay, it is asking where is server A, and it got a client 1 got a server A IP address. Client 1 need a IP address of server A.contoso.com. It got a IP address of server A.contoso.com. Now client 2 asking local DNS server or a cache server. I want a IP address of server A.contoso.com. It got IP address immediately without querying entirely. What is this DNS cache server? DNS cache server stores the last queries, so then it is easily it can returns to the client. That's why it is faster network access is improved much nowadays. Zones are there. So we'll see that one. Okay, so that is it. In our DNS, we have a two parts of DNS. In a DNS, it's like this. First one is forward. No. First, I will go to DNS records. So DNS records are like this. So zones and all. Let's see. Yeah, these are the DNS records. So SOA, like that. It is records are there. SOA, start of authority. nothing. So only it will tell start of authority is it will tell number of modifications in DNS zone, in zone or in a domain, in domain zone or whatever the zone, primary or secondary, in number of modifications. Okay, of records, number of modifications of modifications is there. Okay, important one is host. When it is showing A, means IPv4 host record. Okay, next to host 4As means IPv6 host record. Host means, guys, device, system, client, server. Okay, host. Okay, NS name server. What is name server? Nothing but DNS servers only. Name server record. Name server, NS name server. Okay, CNAME. CNAME. Alias record. It's like a duplicate name, guys. So I will tell now. For example, mine is web1.contoso.com. This is my record. So like it is look like 192.168 like this one. This is the original record. Now I want to access, my client should access contoso.com, www.contoso.com. Original server name is like this, but in a public, they should access like this. So that is called a alias record. MX mail server. If you have a mail server, you have to note down with a MX record. Last one is PTR. It's a pointer record. These are the records in the thing. Okay. So there is a mainly forward lookup zone. Forward lookup zone. So what is the use of forward lookup zone? It is name to IP address. Okay. Next one is RLZ, reverse lookup zone. Okay, this is IP address to name, exactly say fqdn. What is fqdn? Fully qualified domain name. So look at this, guys. Forward lookup zone. For example, I created domain is contoso.com. This is my domain name, just a domain name. Under this one, I will have a records. For example, PC1 host A and 192.168.0.10. The meaning of this one is PC1.contoso.com. That is fqdn. The fqdn is like this. Okay. Records are like this only. PC2, for example, host AAA means IPv6 host. For example, colon 1 or 10. Okay, like this. PC2.contoso.com. PC2.contoso.com. This set structure is like that. For example, As I said, web1 host a record. It is also a PC. So 192.168.0. You can implement and see in the your server also. This is one host record. I put a www cname alias name is web1.contoso.com. Okay, so query will goes like I put a ping www.contoso.com. Then it will go to web1.contoso.com. This is web1, this is the IP address, and finally will communicate. So like this, it keep goes. SOA, it shows the number is how many records are there. 4 records are there. So for example, it shows 5 number. Okay, like this. If I add one record, if I add some record, automatically record increases. The number is record increases. Okay. Reverse lookup zone. Reverse lookup zone is always reverse order 0.168.192. In hyphen addr hyphen ARPA. Okay, so it is the record, reverse lookup zone record of network. Reverse lookup zone belongs to network. Forward lookup zones belongs to domains. Not only this domain, multiple domains you can create it. You can create a different domains. I create a Microsoft domain, for example, PC1, okay, PC3, host A, 192.168.0. something 23. You know fqdn of this one. Anyone tell what is the fqdn of this one? Okay, like this. So forward lookup zone has a name to IP address. Reverse lookup zone, it is belongs to network, and how it is look like this one. So 192.168.0.10 okay. PTR pointer record is go to PC1.contoso. Okay. Web1 another 190.168. Only I want my network only IPv6 or any other network kind of stuff like I have a different logical networks are there. It won't work. Web1.contoso.com. Only network 192.168. Irrespective of what domain you are belongs to it, it is only checking network only. You don't check any other things. pc3.microsoft.com. Not only these records, it is also having a SOA record and NS name server records also there. So I didn't write a name server. Name server means what is your name server, what is your server ID. Okay. Same it is also. The DNS server address. In case. How many records? 4 records. Either it is 4 or 5. So, any record modified or any record is added or deleted. Modify means add, delete, and modification means change. Always increment. The increments. Else means by increment. Like number will be increment. A lot of uses are there. Next one is primary zone, secondary zone. Stub zone and active directory integrated. So what is a primary zone? Yes, anything is a primary zone. Okay, so these are all primary zones, for example. Okay, I have a server 1. Okay, for example, DNS 1. This is one server. DNS 2 server. Two servers are there. Okay, so here it is. I created a contessor.com, which is primary. And here I put a contessor.com, which is secondary. Okay, there is no primary server, no secondary server. There is a two servers. For example, here it is Microsoft.com is secondary. Without a primary, you can't create it. So somewhere the primary also there, right? So here it is primary. Like this. One server you put a primary, in another server you put a secondary. Okay. Obviously first primary, then you can create a secondary. Like this also you can create it. So primary means read and write copy. Read and write. It means you can modify, you can add, modify. Read and write means you can read records, add records, delete records, and modify the records also. Secondary means read only. Okay, means you cannot add, delete, and modify. Stop zone is only NS records. Only NS records. No other thing. No records. And glue host record. Glue host records. Only available in the stop zone. Active directory integrated. It is not a zone. Okay. DNS records stores in active directory database. Okay, if you choose this option, active directory database, it is option, you have to check it like this. Okay, so this is about a primary zone. This is about all about your DNS, guys. Practically I am unable to show you because very simple practical is also. Only thing is you have to create a records in the DNS and try it. I'm closing this DHCP. Go to tools, go to DNS. So this is your DNS. So forward lookup zone. This is your zone. So you can see this is your records. S1, C1. Just try one, at least create this record like a host A record, CNAME MX. First create a host A record, put a PC1, see fqdn pc1.contessor.com. I'm using 172.16.0, maybe 11, 12, or maybe 10. So what will happen? Add host. Okay. And also I'm creating web1 172.16.0.80. I'm also adding another record, that is PC3, PC2 is 2002 colon 010 colon 10 IPv6. Okay, I created. Okay, here it is done. See, this is PC1, PC2, see 4 years. And this is when I do it, this SOI will be increment. So it is not showing increment. Earlier it is 45. Now it is 48 because of I added records. Because I added records. Next, this is web 1. Okay, I'm going to create a CNAME. I'm going to create a CNAME www. So one second. So www.contoso.com. Fully qualified domain name. I'm searching and put a web 1. Web 1. Okay. web1.contoso.com. So alias CNAME. See it is. So I created a records. That's it. Okay. Of course, this is the primary zone. So how you know it is a primary zone? Go to properties. There you can find it is a running active directory integrated. Click on change. Zone type is primary active directory integrated. So what is active directory integrated? Data is stored in active directory. If you remove this option, data is no longer stores in active directory. It will stores the separate file. Okay, in a C Windows System 32 DNS folder. Okay, next, guys, this is a reverse lookup zone, new zone. Because I'm using a 172 network, I will give that one only. Primary zone only, because we don't have a other primary, then we will get a primary secondary kind of stuff. IPv4 for reverse lookup zone 172.16 only we should give. in-addr.arpa only network ID, network portion only we should give. Don't give any other things. Finish. Now it is empty. Only SOA1 NS server details are there. I'm going to my IPv4. Sorry, I'm going to contoso.com. I'm going to click this one. Update associated PTR. Apply. Okay. Because of this already check mark is there. Apply. Check it. Apply. Okay. Otherwise, it won't update. Remove check mark. Apply. Put check mark. Apply. Okay. So this will update your forward lookup zone records into your reverse lookup zone. So go to your reverse lookup zone, refresh, then you will get a record. See, IP address and the fqdn, fully qualified domain name. If you are getting a date, it means automatically these IP addresses are there. Okay, this is statically we created in the forward lookup zone, like statics. This is static, this is dynamic. Okay, a lot of things are in the DNS, but this is the DNS record get forward lookup zone, reverse lookup zone. Forward lookup zone means name to IP address. Under any domain it is there. Reverse lookup zone, IP to domain. And the subdomains also you can able to create it. For example, you create a subdomain means see contoso.com, new domain, and you put a something like HYD. Click OK. See, it's a subdomain. In this HYD, I'm creating a thing like maybe PC4, some IP address 172.16.0. Maybe 1.22, 132. See, the fqdn is changed with a subdomain name. It's a subdomain name. If you look at it, add host. Click OK. Done. See, I create an account. It is belongs to contoso.com, but subdomain is HYD. So this is how multiple domains in the single domain, guys. WordPress.com. Okay, I have a WordPress.com is there. Is like this. LatifTechNotes.wordpress.com. So not LatifTechNotes.com. It is LatifTechNotes.wordpress.com. How it is possible? Under .com, contoso.com, and subdomain.com. Like it is subdomains. Okay, subdomain hierarchical structure. Okay, so this is like that. The final one is I want to show you. Go to Win S1, right click, launch NS Lookup. Launch NS Lookup. It will show you contoso.com and who is the DNS server. Okay, this is NS Lookup. NS Lookup will tell you your DNS server and address of DNS server. NS Lookup. If it is not showing properly, it's okay. Why? Because of there are a lot of configuration related. This is about your DNS, forward lookup zone, reverse lookup zone, and other zones. If you want to create another forward lookup zone, you can create it by forward lookup zone, right click, new zone. Next, you don't have a other separate forward lookup zones, then you cannot create it. Okay, so that's why we have to create only primary. And I don't want to store in the Active Directory integrated, so I unchecked it. Okay, I unchecked it. So only I check primary zone. Next, put a zone name. I put a Microsoft.com. No problem, because of we are in a purely private network, host only network. You can give any name. Okay, any option, one or first or second option, third option, no problem. First one is not there. Why? Because of domain integration is not there. Okay. So see it is, this is another primary zone with a different name. Okay. If you create a account here, so like this, if you see 172.16.0. Maybe 145. Yeah, what I'm doing. Okay. So PC55. PC55. See PC55 Microsoft.com. That is the IP address. Click on add, close, done. So look at here. So this is fqdn pc55.microsoft.com, and can you see it is refresh? It is also will come here. It's not yet come. It will come. So don't worry. Yeah, pc55.microsoft.com 145. Okay. So last one is the testing. Okay, testing of DNS. Guys, it won't ping. Only we'll see. Oh, sorry, I didn't check the time. I'm keep going. Okay, so I will finish by one only. Contoso.com. The query is go to first contoso.com. Where is PC1, and it will find IP address. Then ping one start. See PC1.contoso.com and IP address got it. So we given same IP address. Okay, same IP address we are given. We actually got IP address from here. PC1 IP address is this one. Okay, it won't ping. Don't worry, it won't ping because that host is not there now. Only we get IP address. Guys, www.contoso.com. So first one is contoso.com is showing web1.contoso.com. Then it is go to like this. Okay, because of alias www.contoso.com is belongs to web1.contoso.com. Web1.contoso.com is 80 like this. Okay, so this is how DNS works. So compulsory ping it each one, then you will understand how the DNS works. That's it, guys. That's it for today, and tomorrow we'll meet in the morning.